Hello students, welcome to part 2 of the video of chapter number 10 Space Missions for standard 10th. Subject is Science 1. In this video we shall be learning about orbits of artificial satellites and satellite launch vehicle. Orbit of the satellite. An orbit is a repeating path that an object takes around another one. The object in the orbit, this object in the orbit is called as the satellite. So we can define orbit of the satellite as orbit of the satellite is its path around the earth. The satellite can be a natural satellite or it can be an artificial satellite. The function of the satellite decides its orbit. The orbits come in different shapes. This is the orbit, this is the orbit. So you can see the orbits come in different shapes. The orbit can be circular as you can see here, or the orbit can be elliptical as well. The orbital plane of the satellite can be equatorial plane of the earth, or the orbital plane of the satellite can be at an angle to the equatorial plane of the earth. So here you can see the orbit has formed an angle, certain angle with the equator of the earth, whereas the equator lies here for the earth. So the orbital plane of the satellite is the equatorial plane of the earth here, whereas the orbital plane of the satellite is at an angle to the equatorial plane of the earth. In order to put the satellite in a proper orbit at a specific height from the Earth's surface, the satellite has to be launched using a satellite launcher or a satellite launching vehicle. The satellite is given a specific velocity which is called as a critical velocity Vc, and this critical velocity is tangential to the direction of the orbit. So when the satellite reaches a certain height, it starts revolving around the earth. In this image, you can see a satellite which is moving around the earth. The mass of the earth is denoted by capital M. The radius of the earth is denoted by capital R. The mass of the satellite is small m. The satellite is at a height h above the earth's surface. So the total height of satellite from the center of the earth will be small r. So what will be small r equal to? R plus h, because this distance is capital R and this distance is small h. So small r will be equal to capital R plus h. What is small r equal to? Small r is the height of the satellite or distance of the satellite from the center of the earth. So we consider a satellite of mass small m which is revolving around the earth in an orbit at a height h above the earth's surface. This satellite has critical velocity equal to Vc. So the centripetal force F will be is equal to mvc square upon r, where r is the height of the satellite from the center of the earth. So to r will be is equal to capital R plus h. Now the centripetal force is equal to the gravitational force between the earth and the satellite. What is the formula of centripetal force? mvc square upon small r. But what is small r equal to? Small r is equal to capital R plus h, where r is the radius of the earth and h is the height of the satellite above the earth's surface. So centripetal force is equal to mvc square upon r plus h is equal to the gravitational force is given by the formula gmm upon small r square, where capital G is the constant of gravitation, capital M is the mass of the earth and small m is the mass of the satellite, upon small r square. But what is small r equal to? Small r is equal to r plus h, the whole square. Now if mvc square upon r plus h is equal to gmm upon r plus h the whole square, mass m of the satellite will get cancelled from both the sides. R plus h and r plus h will get cancelled from here. So if one r plus h gets cancelled, we get vc square is equal to gm upon r plus h. So if we want to remove the square, we will have to take the square root on the right hand side. So we get vc is equal to square root of gm upon r plus h. So the formula of critical velocity vc is equal to gm upon r plus h. The formula of critical velocity is vc is equal to square root of gm upon r plus h. So here you can see that the critical velocity does not depend upon the mass of the satellite, because in the previous case we have seen that small m gets cancelled from the numerator from both the sides. So critical velocity does not depend upon the mass of the satellite. Also, as the height of the satellite's orbit increases, you will find that the value of critical velocity goes on decreasing. Based on the height of the satellite from the Earth's surface, the satellites are classified as high Earth orbit satellites, medium Earth orbit satellites, and low Earth orbit satellites. High Earth orbit satellite, also called as HEO, a satellite orbiting at a height of 35,780 kilometers above the Earth's surface, or greater than 35,780 kilometers above the Earth's surface, is called as a high Earth orbit satellite. So the definition of HEO is a satellite orbiting at a height equal to or greater than 35,780 kilometers above the Earth's surface is called as high Earth orbit satellite. The critical velocity Vc of a satellite revolving in an orbit at a height of 35,780 kilometers above the Earth's surface is 3.08 kilometers per second. Also, such a satellite takes 23 hours and 54 minutes to complete one revolution around the Earth. Also, you will find that the orbital plane of the satellite is the equatorial plane of the Earth. At an altitude of about 35,780 kilometers, the satellite seems to enter a sort of sweet spot in which the orbit of the satellite matches with the Earth's rotation, because the satellite orbits at the same speed as the Earth is turning. The satellite seems to stay in a place over a single longitude. So, as the satellite appears to be stationary with respect to the place on the Earth, these satellites are also called as geosynchronous satellites. The higher a satellite is above the Earth's surface, the slower it moves around the Earth. This is because of the Earth's gravity. The Earth's gravity pulls more strongly the satellites that are closer to its center than those satellites which are farther away from the Earth. A geosynchronous satellite can see one spot of the Earth almost all the time. So for Earth observation, this allows the satellite to look at how much a region changes over months or years. So these satellites are used for monitoring the weather of a particular place. Geosynchronous satellites are also used for communications and surveillance. There is another satellite which is known by the name geostationary satellite. This is also a high Earth orbit satellite. It is an HEO. So both geosynchronous and geostationary satellites are high Earth orbit satellites. The only difference between them is the orbital plane of the satellite. The geostationary satellite, as you can see, revolves in the equatorial plane of the Earth, whereas the geosynchronous satellite revolves at an angle to the equatorial plane of the Earth. Also, the orbit of the geostationary satellite is directly above the Earth's equator. As the geostationary satellite revolves in the equatorial plane of the Earth, it can never fly above the polar regions. So, geostationary satellites are never useful for studies of the polar regions. Medium Earth Orbit Satellite, MEO. The region in the space between the low Earth orbit and the geostationary orbit, that is the high Earth orbit, is called as the medium Earth orbit, and a satellite orbiting at a height between 2000 kilometers and 35,780 kilometers above the Earth's surface is called as medium Earth orbit satellite. Closer to the Earth, these satellites move more quickly. The orbital path of such satellites is near circular or it is elliptical. A satellite at this height takes 12 hours to complete an orbit or one revolution around the Earth. As the satellite moves, you will find that the Earth rotates underneath it. In 24 hours, the satellite crosses the same two spots on the equator every day. Therefore, this orbit is used by the GPS satellites, that is the global positioning satellites. The medium Earth orbit satellites are useful for communications over the north and south polar regions. Low Earth orbit satellite, that is LEO. A satellite orbiting at a height between 180 kilometers and 2000 kilometers above the Earth's surface is called as a low Earth orbit satellite. These satellites orbit in a near circular orbit. The inclination of the satellite depends on what the satellite was launched to monitor. Normally, the low Earth orbit satellites take 90 minutes to complete one revolution around the Earth. Many of the satellites in the low Earth orbit are Earth monitoring satellites. So these satellites are used to see the surface of the Earth more clearly. So some of the examples of the low Earth orbit satellites are the International Space Station, the weather satellites, the space telescopes. This is the Hubble telescope. It was launched in 1990 by NASA. It was one of the most successful and long-lasting science missions that has ever been carried out by NASA. The Hubble telescope is as long as a large school bus. It travels around the Earth at a speed of about 5 miles per second. Hubble takes pictures of planets, stars and galaxies. It is named after the astronomer Edwin P. Hubble. Edwin P. Hubble had made important discoveries about the universe in early 1900s. This is an international space station. It is a low Earth orbit satellite. Its height varies between 320 kilometers to 400 kilometers above the Earth's surface. The International Space Station can be seen from the Earth's surface with naked eye. Satellite Launch Vehicle. Satellite launchers or satellite launch vehicles are the vehicles that carry the satellites to space and place the satellites in their specific orbits. So, a rocket which is used to carry the artificial satellites to a desired height above the Earth's surface and then projected with a proper velocity called as the escape velocity so that the satellite orbits the Earth in a desired orbit is called as a launch vehicle. The functioning of the launch vehicle is based on Newton's third law of motion. The launch vehicle uses a specific type of fuel. This fuel could be a solid fuel or a liquid fuel. The functioning of the launch vehicle is based on Newton's third law of motion, as mentioned earlier. What is Newton's third law of motion? For every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. In case of the launch vehicle, the force of action is the flow of gases that come out from the small hole in the rear part of the vehicle. These gases are produced by the combustion of the fuel which is present in the rocket engine. The reaction by the vehicle is the pressure called as the thrust, which propels the launch vehicle in the upward direction. The structure of the launch vehicle is decided according to the weight of the satellite and the type of the satellite orbit. The fuel of the satellite also depends upon the weight of the satellite and the type of the satellite orbit that the satellite has to go into. The fuel forms a major portion of the total weight of the launch vehicle. This is a picture of the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle which was launched by ISRO. These are the different parts of the PSLV. This is the engine which uses the solid fuel for providing the initial thrust to propel the rocket in the upward direction. This is also a tank for solid fuel storage. So this is the first stage using solid fuel. The second stage uses a liquid fuel. The third stage uses a solid fuel. The fourth stage again uses a liquid fuel, and this is the place where the satellite is positioned or stationed. A basic approach to launch the vehicle is to divide the vehicle into different stages. In the previous slide, you have seen a satellite launch vehicle with 5 stages. So, normally a launch vehicle, when it has to be launched, it has to be divided into different stages. The first stage is the heaviest stage, or it is the heaviest part of the vehicle, because it has the largest rocket engines, the large fuel tanks which carries either the solid or the liquid fuel in it, and the highest thrust. So the task is to impart the initial thrust that is needed to overcome the Earth's gravitational force and to lift the total weight of the vehicle and the payload. Once the fuel in the first stage is used up or exhausted, we find that that part or that first stage gets detached, as you can see here in the image, and this detached part falls either into the ocean or onto a sparsely populated territory. Now the weight of the first stage of the satellite launch vehicle has gone. So now the second stage with its own rocket engine and propellants continues to accelerate the vehicle in the upward direction. The weight now being reduced, the vehicle propels with a high speed. Most of the launch vehicles that are used today have only 2 or 3 stages. Once the upper stage has completed its mission, then the launch vehicle falls back into the Earth's surface, enters the orbit itself, or most frequently it disintegrates or evaporates because it encounters the atmospheric heating on its fall back towards the Earth. The launch vehicles are very costly. They can be used only once. But USA has developed a space shuttle which can return back to the Earth's surface, except for the fuel tank. The fuel tanks, when they get detached, they fall back into the ocean or into any sparsely populated territory. So these space shuttles can be reused for multiple number of launches.